How's everybody doing today? Sorry, I was making sure like the doors were closed. I was like, oh God. I was like, wait, we're ready to go. Oh wait, what's Kip doing? so um all right, so we're getting some comments coming in right now. Messer is speaking. Some I think strong comments. Again, she saw compelling, right? Cases for 50 basis points hike last time. The Fed has more work to do. The Fed will go above 5 and stay there for a while. Transition back to price stability will bring some pain. I expect to make significant progress, right? In lowering inflation. The extent to which the Fed raises rates in the future is determined by inflation. Right here. What are we saying? We expected an increase. This comes the day after the president is saying, yeah, inflation is coming down. We're controlling it. Well, in case you don't know what PPI is, because I mentioned it yesterday, and I realized that some people may not have understood kind of like the importance of it. So this is the change in the price of finished goods and services sold by producers, right? And there's even the core number here as well, excluding food and energy, right? So to make a statement about how inflation is coming down, we're starting to control it. Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, again, the market tanked from this data right away, as it should have. The data is not surprising to me whatsoever. I feel like the markets may be surprised by it. I don't know. I'm not exactly the response to the overall markets was kind of crazy due to it. And again, I'm not exactly sure why they forecast why they did. I thought it was rather a low forecast, but it is what it is. So yeah, I don't know what to say now. The flip flop between Empire and Philly is still holding firm, right? The Empire data was lower, but not as bad as they predicted. And meanwhile, the Fed one was much, much worse. And again, we've seen them kind of flip flopping back and forth. So, yeah, that data is there. And then again, unemployment, not quite as bad. But I mean, we're talking like nothing, right? It's basically the same as what it was last time, just a little bit below 200,000. So, not even a bad, not even a bad scenario there. So, which is not bad considering every company seems like they're laying people off. It's not bad. I mean, labor is still very, very strong. Now, Messer did just say a little while ago, she believes, I do not believe the United States will enter into the recession, right? The Fed has no intention of changing its 2% target when opposed to change. Yeah. Retail sales data shows some slowing, but the economy remains resilient. Labor force growth is critical. Yep. That's policy between the data. It may take a year before we see the full effects of rate hikes. Sure. The Fed move forward with the balance sheet reduction effort. Yeah. So again, the consumer spending, great. It may take a year, but every time it goes up, it just keeps going higher and higher and higher and higher. And again, we're talking about things like entrenched inflation. And again, does this look disinflationary? I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I mean, they were going with that whole what do you want to call it? Yeah, but I don't believe it either, buds. They were going with the whole transitory thing forever, right? And they spilled that over the whole rest of the world, and everybody's like, transitory, and none of that actually happened. And now we're here 3 years later, 2 years later, and we're still dealing with it. And on a monthly basis, it's still continuing to rise after a year, and yet people are making comments about, yeah, we're in a disinflationary environment. It's working, but we still got way. I mean, literally, her statement is, where is it? The Fed has more work to do to control inflation. They've been trying to control it for a year, and we're still seeing data like this. Even though we had like the one hiccup, right? We had the one hiccup where it's like, yeah, it's expected to be bad. That one hiccup, it's like, oof, look at that. Again, clink, 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 boom. It's like one step back and then two forward is kind of what we're hitting. So, yeah. Now the overall markets, when you look at the 24-hour pip changes, you can see, obviously some dollar strength rolling back in more in the near term of things. For the most part, rather tame. My belief on this one, and again, we're seeing like things like the Russell, big collapse, very, very fast, but you're not seeing currency shifts in the last 24 hours being too crazy. And again, you're seeing the last hour, right, 15 minutes or an hour. The data, obviously, some retracement, but you would expect to see that news and be like, holy crap, that's a huge miss. Be like massive things. I think the rest of the world, and I think the big players out there, i.e. big players, banks, right? The banks, this is what the banks expected, right? Because remember, the currency market is not controlled by the retail trader. It's not even controlled by like the, like like hedge funds and things like that, they're still little, right? It's controlled by the central banks, like the big guys, the huge players, right? I don't think they're falling for it, right? They're not kind of falling for this. Yeah, yeah, it's 3. And I think this is exactly what they expected. So, and again, look at this. I mean, after data this big, -3, 16, right? Dollar yen's been a little crazy, but 5, 21, 3, 9, pound yen, 16. So, yeah, it's not the movement that, one would expect. And I think the central banks on there look at this, been like, yeah, yep, yep, that's what I see, right? So, and again, something like the Aussie dollar is saying like the retracement coming back again in the last 15 minutes from the spike. So you will see profit taking coming in. So that's what we're dealing with. Now, tomorrow morning, let's click off for all this one. You can see a little bit of data, but not too much, right? A little bit. Retail sales being the biggest one. And again, expected to be negative, but just barely negative in the UK. That's the biggest news of the day. French final CPI numbers probably won't do much. Current account, not really going to probably do much. All of their PPI stuff in here, right? Price of goods. It's similar to our PPI stuff. I expect it to be a little bit down. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a miss on this one. Import prices, right? Bowman speaking. Bowman's not necessarily a big mover at 845, and then that's it. I mean, look, I got everything here. I mean, maybe the mortgage delinquencies, maybe this starts ticking higher, and that gives us something. But for the most part, tomorrow, not a lot of news out there. So again, we should see the market probably be red today, and then I probably end of the day rally, and this is setting us up for a green Friday. But right now, you're not seeing massive amounts of movements in the last 24 hours. And again, I think the banks are onto it. Again, the retail traders over here are like, holy crap, right? Holy crap, what's going on, right? So that's where we're at. So let's just go right over into the charts right now. So VIX, obviously the VIX is spiking up pretty quickly. And again, remember my VIX data is delayed. There's no reason for me to pay for, the actual VIX, the VIX data here. So, it's delayed 15 minutes. I don't use it enough. I use it here just to kind of explain where we are on a general, kind of overall look. But you're seeing it spiking. And why is it spiking? Because of that PPI data coming in, especially as big as it is. It's considered, woof, that's dollar strength, right? And again, when you click over the dollar, you go to the Dixie. Yesterday morning, we talked about a potential reversal, 104 would be, and it did. And it kind of hung up here, and at 10:30 kind of went back up. And then at 12:30, it started to deteriorate back down. And again, we talked about profit taking for the dollar coming in, and that's what we saw, right? It came up and the profit taking came in, and it came kind of back to where the big spike occurred, right? But that day to day obviously set us off, right? 40-cent pop up, and again, we will have profit taking, but we know up here at 104.10, there's obviously some selling that's going to need to come to the market. So, overall, that's kind of what we're going to see across the board. And indices all red, again, as they should be. Hey, we're not going to start that today. Nope. Here. Yeah. Ooh, hot coffee. It's almost like too hot, right? Oil, right? Natural gas, both up a little bit. Rather a much more tame day, right? We're still under that $80 mark. We're under the 250 mark, and it looks like that's going to be the holding point right now for natural gas. Not necessarily surprising. I mean, if all this data is great, the cost is more. That means there's going to be more demand on there. They're kind of where they should be. Oil and gold, gold and silver, both down by a little bit, right? Again, we'll get to those in a little bit, but you can see both of them kind of had the same kind of push. They stabilized. They both look very similar as they push down again, but not really necessarily news based. It's unfortunate. Late last night, this kind of came up, and we talked about 2182, and it got to 2180. Right? So I missed 2 cents because I guess it came to 2185, and we were talking about 2182.5. So I missed it by 2 pennies. It's like, damn, I hate when that happens, right? It's like, Argh. But again, it should be, right? This is a dollar strength based news. So looking across, let's go over here. Now, here's the trade from yesterday, or actually late last night, right? I love when this happens, right? You guys know. I mean, last night, Wednesday, Wednesday was my crazy. This was my second crazy Wednesday in a row. I had to pick Asher up. We had a 6 p.m. field practice from 6 to 7:30, and then we jumped in the car, we drove to Baltimore, and we had box practice from 8 to 10 PM last night, and then I came home. So in full transparency, I have not touched this, and you guys know that I don't touch TradingView. I use that just for these. How's that for a draw? We talked about being here for news yesterday. Again, it was going to be a 23.6 pullback if we can hold and maintain, and it did. It got up there and it held and maintained, and then immediately, boom, pushed back down and grabbed the other side. Right here, I'll remove this, right? Came down right there, as it should, right? So again, there's your news. It did it very, very fast, and then came back up again. And again, we wouldn't have used the zone again. It chopped through it too much. Came back up, grabbed the next level, and that's when that went rolled forward. The 8:30 news came in right here, and again, I think this was we were all expecting dollar strength, and it pushed back down and ran right into our profit target again. So again, hopefully you guys were able to grab this one. This was a nice little chuck off of that one. In one candle, it was about 40 pips instantaneously. So very, very easy grab. And again, you may say, well, how did I know that was going to happen? Right here. Right here. Right? We were looking at this and we are like, hey, listen, if this pulls up, I was, my opinion yesterday was, I was like, I'm really looking for Aussie. I was looking for Aussie strength, but every chart we saw kind of had an Aussie weakness based trade set up on there. So look, you could say, well, how did I know it was going to be, I didn't know it was going to be bad. Well, I didn't. I don't have a crystal ball. I didn't know this data was going to be bad. And my opinion was, I was looking for Aussie strength coming into the whole thing, but I knew I had news. And again, I said, listen, if this climbs all the way up, you sell the heck out of that. If we can get that for a news based trade, there you go, right? I mean, there's the mark. This is why it's so important for you guys to look to see when news is, right? Again, all we did was use news as the catalyst. Okay, that's all we did. Simple as that, right? But very, very easy trade setup, right? Very, very easy trade setup on this one. Again, with it being up there, I mean, there, right? And there's 302. So, yeah, there you go. Plus 40 pips from a trade setup from yesterday, right? Instantly. And look at that. How much time did that take to set up? Right? So, yep. All right. Let's see. What do we do with this one now? So, I think we're probably in a reversal time right now. We are obviously taking profit right now. We had the big push down. We will see profit taking coming back in. We do have a red kind of Harry Potter trade set up below as well as an alert. Now, I think this is probably a decent alert. I think once, again, people are taking profits, so we're seeing a little bit of a pop right now. If this is able to maintain, again, we have an alert set here at 68.57. I think there's more continued move. So why don't you have a crystal ball? Neuro. I do. It's black. It has like this blue solution in it, and I shake it, right? And depending on how it feels, it responds back to me, right? And I think, do I have it? Is it still? Yeah, look, the outlook is not so good. See? So I do have a crystal ball, right? But see on this pair, Neuro, I could do the magic 8 ball on this one, and you can see right here, right? It says no, the outlook is not looking so good for this pair. So again, look, even the magic 8 ball, right? Even the magic 8 ball thinks that, hey, this is probably a short. I think this one's going to continue to move to the downside, right? So there you go. Leave it up to the fates, right? Sacrifice, 5 goats and 4 bulls, and there you go, right? Go to the pagan gods. But the magic 8 ball has said this one does not look good, right? So yeah, looks like this one will continue to go lower. But again, Harry Potter trade set up below this one. Break is 68.57. And yeah. All right. Off again. Now, Aussie unfortunately did not give us the same type of trade. We talked about a Harry Potter trade breaking through the top, and it did. It broke through, but it was very, very sloppy, right? So we were looking for a break above this, and you could say, hey, listen, this is up, and here's space, and then it kind of pulled back again. Yeah, you could say that, and it made it about 2.43. So it kind of came up here after it kind of failed. Once this punched forward, I would have moved my stop loss to break or my stop loss should have been here, right? As you trail this one when it came back up, because you can say, hey, listen, it has some faltering. Once it goes back up again, move it to there. It would have taken you out of the trade. You would have got out at a 1.25. We obviously like to get more out of it. Actually, hold on, that's wrong. There. Yeah, 1.5. You would have got out of 1.5, and it happens. It was not in a place, again, It was in the middle. It was not in a this was not a news setup. You know, we can use Aussie dollar or Aussie yen to be able to trade news. This was in the middle, so it was not a setup for news. Um, Again, you probably had just gotten stopped out, and if it pulled back to here, you were definitely taking yourself out of the trade. So worst case scenario, you got out of it like a 1-to-1. You know, again, we like to do more than that. Unfortunately, it ran into some problems here at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And again, there's wicks over there. That's all it used in the overnight here as well. And again, just because you know there's news, it went down. But there was obviously major catalyst. It just wasn't in a zone that we needed. And that's why this great news trade. This didn't meet any of our qualifications, so didn't take it. Um, so where we go with this one now? This one is still kind of whipping back and forth. I mean, you can see it's a little bit different, but we haven't really left the range. We never made it up to the 92.92. We didn't make it down to the 91.80 part. I will say the next time it comes down, I mean, after this push and then after this push late last night, we should be clear back down to that level. And do we take a buy off this 91.93? I would use caution, buddy. What are you doing? Where did you find that at? Give this to daddy. No. I don't know where he keeps finding cough drops. I have no idea. I'm like, I smell like the. Where did you find that, buds? Where'd you find that? We've been out of cough drops forever. I don't know where you're hiding the stash at, but what? I know what it is. Yeah, I can smell it. I can smell it, buds. He like takes the wrapper off because he thinks it's candy, and then like all of a sudden I can smell like they're the lemon ones, so they're not like the crazy. I mean they are kind of like candy. Melissa will eat them like candy, but I'm like, why do I smell cough drop? And he's like, he's eating a cough drop, and now he's all sticky, right? You all sticky now? Yeah, it's all over your hands. What? You want this? You can have this. Um, yeah, you're excited now, huh? Ah. You talk to the people. You say hi. Yeah. Okay. Let go. Nope. We're not gonna get sticky fingers all over the keyboard. Um. So, this 9190 area, it didn't leave the greatest. Again, we kind of had a turn here, but we've hit it. We hit it again. It hasn't pushed deep into the zone, but again, be cautious. It's going to be the third hit. This did push down and grab the same buyers that were in there. So, it's all right, but I wouldn't go. I wouldn't go absolutely crazy with this one. I like it more for the short back down to the 91.44. So, more or less sideways. Euro pound. Um, I like Euro pound where we're at right now. We talked about the buyers coming in right here. Obviously, we've had a big push down. We will see a bit of retracement, but I think this one continues to push lower. I think the data is undeniable that they are going to raise. It could be another 0.5. Again, we talked about this yesterday, breaking through 106.55, going down to 106.25. It took a bounce off that yesterday, right? We knew that. And again, that's good for us, right? 1, 2, kind of like 3 or 4 here, and if not, this is number 4. So we're expecting a break now, so this trade will become live rather soon. Again, I talked about how I wanted to see kind of where the base was. I was kind of guesstimating it right here based off this prior level. And again, there's kind of your zone. There's your 1. There's your 2 or 3-ish, right? It's debatable, 3 or 4 in there. But this one's coming live right now. So again, I ideally, obviously, we'd like it to base here and then push through, right? But this may be one of those ones you just pull the trigger on it and look for a 30 pip drop to the downside. All right. Euro pound. So, Euro pound. Look at this sucker. So, again, this was yesterday. We missed it by a little bit, right? We knew we had the news coming in here, right? The speech popped it a little bit, but not too much. Again, we were looking for this one to rally up. We were looking for just a little bit more. It's like, come on, just push us up to there so we can get in this trade. But what are you doing? No. Here, get on the floor. You can play with the lacrosse string on the floor. He's going to unwind 200 yards of lacrosse string, just so you guys know. He's now having fun with, unwrapping one of the spools. There's gonna be 200 yards of lacrosse string all over my floor in about 4 minutes. Okay. So yeah, we were hoping that it got just a little bit more, and then obviously they could speak. Unfortunately, it shot down first. So this is the move we were waiting for. That's what we were looking for. We wanted this, but unfortunately, it did it here first, and then started the pushover. So, we are up in that area right now. It did just hit it. So again, nice little spike up there at 8:30. And again, that's probably the comments coming out of the ECB talking about this one. that interest rates are not yet at a restrictive level. And again, the U.S. thinks that they are at a restrictive level. It's a mistake to ease monetary policy too quickly. Have we ever heard this before? Anybody heard this one before? Right. Um, you know, it's kind of it's one of those. I feel like that statement has been made once or twice by a nation, right? By another nation. I'm not going to say who they are, but they are the same ones that started the transitory statement. And yeah, we've heard this before. No, that never happened. Yeah. So, yeah, right. If we stop too early. So that's what gave us the pop. But that should actually be wearing itself out a little bit. So again, this is a nice little turn. It's a turn we talked about yesterday. It's not very, very much risk. It's a little bit late now, but if you guys do get into this one, I mean, we're only talking like 6 pips. So we're not talking anything major. But what we would expect to see right now is we expect to see some European weakness and pound strength rolling back in. It's not so much pound strength, but it's kind of the gut reaction, and then oh, nothing's really going to happen, right? It's people like, wait a second, I feel like somebody said that before, right? Kind of want more of those things, right? So, hold on, wait, what? No, no. Ah, sorry. Okay, sorry. Leba sending me all of Reese's stuff. Um, she doesn't. We don't think Reese has mono. We can't read the. They sent us like basically his charts, but it doesn't say. Like they can't make it simple, right? They sent us like the little. It's like, okay, does that mean that he has it, or does it mean that he doesn't have it, right? Like we need like a translator to figure out if the kid actually has mono. Uh, like so? No. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, buddy. That's exactly how I feel about the whole thing. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Um. But anyway, I would expect this to continue to roll back down again if you are short, probably back into this air level down to 80, 88, 85. Like I said, emotional pop is a parabolic move. It's not a big one because, again, the pair we're talking about isn't crazy. It's got a 57 pip ATR, right? Sorry, its 4 hour ATR is 21, and this was a 25 pip spike. So obviously outside of what the norm is for this time, you should see a rollback. But again, look for European weakness across the board. Euro yen. So Euro yen. This was one of those bigger time frames we were talking about. Again, potentially getting that one on a Harry Potter where you're looking for the break. Remember, this was a bigger time frame, a 2 hour, 4 hour kind of base on this one. And again, we were looking for the punch through the top, not the punch through the bottom. So here's actually where the punch is. You've moved a total of 43 pips, right? 43 pips on this one. It's gone up a little bit more than where we are, but not much. It's just kind of flatline. I would say at this point, if you're in this one, just close it down. This is one of those ones. It's like why keep messing with it? Um, what is it? What is there that what are you getting out of this one in a day not having any movement? Nothing, right? I mean, right now from yesterday, we're here. Um, I have pound yen up here, not euro yen. 19 pips. So 19 pips in 24 hours. So yeah, not doing much. Any reason to keep this one? No. Nope, not really. So yeah, it's just trending high. We're high on the curve. If you're in the trade from yesterday, you're still positive. Just close it down. Save your money. Put it somewhere else. Right. This one is just not going to give you enough. It's just going to be too sideways. And at this point, I actually think it will roll back down a little bit. It may eat up some of your profits. So again, there's your entry. Here, I can reset this. We've been talking about this one breaking forever, but there's where your break came in. Right. That was what we talked about yesterday. So whoops. And it was at its peak, 1 to 2. So yep. Pound dollar. All right, so pound dollar. All right, we're back down here. So we obviously know what was going on. Not, you know, I don't think. Let's see. Did we get a pullback in this one? No, not really. I mean, I guess you could have made a case about this, right? There is some selling over here. It's all right. Um, it's a nice push down, right? 1978. I'd say this one is probably due for a bit of reversal, but we got to see how much more kicks in. It is definitely an area of buyers. It would have been a great profit target based off this news. 70, 4 hour ATR is 50. What, buds? What do you want? It's Jack and the Beanstalk. Here, you read. Here, you read. Here, you read. You read to Daddy. Here, Daddy can't read right now, but you read. You read for Daddy. There you go. Yeah. There we go. You reading? Here. All right, here you go. Here. You play with that too? There you go. As much as I'd love to say, hey, listen, take this parabolic retracement, the news today was really good, US. It is kind of talking about fundamental changes in the market. We are at a level where buyers are there, right? Absolutely, without a doubt, there's some buyers there. It was an okay move off of that one. The risk on it is rather small. Oh, stop. Come on. No. Nope. Ow, ow, ow. What are you doing? Yeah, it's 18 pips worth of risk. The problem I have with this one is, um, I feel like all the comments we're hearing, all the comments that we're seeing, investors' comments, these all should be very, very strong dollar comments. And remember, interest rate changes and things like that, they are fundamental changes in the market. Nothing that she has said none of it's necessarily surprising, but I feel like the market overall is still catching up. Is there anything out there that's even remotely positive for the pound today? No, not really. And they're kind of getting out of the market. But are we expecting, should we expect a big reversal? I don't know. I think there are better opportunities out there right now. Is this one of those ones that sometimes you're like, I got a gut feeling about this one, but I got to trust the system? It's kind of one of those, right? The only I mean, we were trending higher with dollar weakness, and then all of a sudden, bam, this one kind of wrecked it. But this was in preparation for what we knew was coming. So yeah, it's kind of one of those ones. It's like, oh, I know it's its own. Maybe it makes a fool out of me and goes right back up as it should. But ideally, I just think that we're gonna have dollar strength the rest of today, just based off of what we're seeing. I just don't really. Again, I know you're supposed to follow it, but sometimes it's like, oh, I just don't like this one for a long. I do like this one for more of a short. So, again, we're in a zone. Be cautious with it. Again, maybe we take a confirmation bounce. Again, right now the red is below the green, so not interested. Maybe the way to play this one is, one of these, right? Give us a green. Oops. Give us a green, and give us a red, right? Right. Give us the pattern, right? If we can get a confirmation pattern before breaking it, then maybe we pull the trigger. But right now, I'm not interested. It's not a number one trade for me. Not after the news, not after what we saw, not after the comments. I'm just not, you know, I'm not on the side of dollar weakness. Whoa, buds, what are you doing? Oh, here you go. All right. All right. Let's delete that because otherwise that's going to be confusing tomorrow. People are like, what the heck is that? Like, no, it was just teaching, not anything else. So yeah, if we can get a confirmation, great. But if it breaks the bottom, I have no interest in getting long. Mm-hmm. Me too. And here's why. So we have a level in the pound yen, right? It's a basing level, so it was kind of a new formation, but we've kind of hit 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we're starting to base in it now. Those are the type of bases that I like. So I like this one better. And this one kind of goes into the trade we just talked about. This we were talking about. Don't really like this one long pound strength. We like this one kind of weak, right? Well, that would also be the same type of pound weakness over here, getting back down to that 160 mark. Now, I don't need to go that far. I only need to go to right there to be 1 to 3. Again, we still need the confirmation, wait for it to break through, kind of pull back, and then use it. There's a little hiccup there, so that may give us where we're going to bounce off of. Kind of come, yeah, buds, there to there, right? No, no, buds, buds. Thank God that's new. Thank God that's new and not used. Yeah, yeah. Thank God it's not dirty. Um, so yeah, I like this one. I think this one's decent. Draw some numbers out there so you guys can see it. Again, you got to use no numbers on your broker. So, but you're looking at 50 pips to the downside, something like that. Dollar CAD. Yeah. So dollar CAD surgeon, and again, here's that strength. You can see that oil is kind of starting to kick back again. We talked about profit targets. You can see we've sliced through it. We hit it yesterday at 9, and then kind of reversed back as we kind of expected. I can remove it. 1, 2, and 3, 4 is breaking. So again, that shouldn't hold. We know we got a zone up top. We got a little bit of a zone there though. Profit target high. What? What's up, buds? Push to the top. It honestly could go off that, but that's a pretty ugly zone. Hmm. Hmm. Um. Hmm. So. I don't know, buds. What do you think, buds? I don't like that this pushed it literally to the very same point. By establishing it here and clearing it here, this zone should not hold. But again, it was kind of a news-based release. It was a market open at 9:30, so it gave us a quick spike. Again, whip out a lot of people in the overnight. Um, I wish it had just touched it, not gone to the end of it. That's the problem I have with it. Could have rolled off of there, sure, absolutely. Do I like the top one better? Yes. Um, but with the movement we've had right now since 8:30, right from when the 8:30 news came out, we're up 82 pips. Again, this is 30-minute chart. The 4-hour ATR is only 38, so it's over double, right? In 2 hours, right? In 2 hours, we are double the ATR. So we are kind of at a stage now where what? We're at a stage now where we're kind of like, hey, this is probably going to retrace. People are going to look to take profit on this one. It should be coming in sometime soon. We know that there's a crappy zone sitting right there. Could you take it off of that zone? Sure. Ugh. What? Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, you're so funny. You'll poke yourself in the face. Um, it's there's a reversal in here, right? Which of the two zones that reverses off of, I don't know. I kind of like the 135.08 better. Again, that brings us up to that round number. This puts us at the 134.90, so it's not quite the round number, but 135 is a big one, right? 135 is a big area. So, ugh. If you guys are going to be at your computer, again, you could look for a color change on a 5-minute or 15-minute. Look for a red, green, red confirmation at the top. This will turn and roll. Um, Again, this is outside of the range of what should happen. Actually, I bet you. Technicals. Yeah, look at the pinch. Yeah, we're so. There's your pinch before news. It's not straight, I understand, but there's your pinch. No, There's your pinch before news, and there's your range now. So, and what is average? Right? We'll just take we can take this. This is probably average from there to there, right? That's about average, right? Stop, Kip. There. Pinch, average, where we're at right now. So we are definitely no. Get on the ground. Stop. Go play. You got all these twists. Go play. Leave me alone. Come on. Go. Go, go, go. So there is a reversal here. Again, easiest way to play it is gonna Kip, you're gonna go in your crib. I'm literally gonna put you in your crib, bud. Here, take this. You're not taking dad's phone. By the way, did I tell you guys that he broke my phone? He like smashed it, cracked the screen or whatever, and the dude came to the house. Well, he didn't come to the house. He had a van. It was like a mini. It was like a mini sprinter van type thing, and basically the back seat was like a little workshop. Coolest thing I've ever. It cost me $29 to get it fixed because I have the insurance on my phone. Coolest thing ever. I was like, this is awesome. I walked out to my driveway, handed the guy my phone. 30 minutes later, he knocked on the door and said, "Hey, your phone's ready." I was like, this is awesome. Like this is the coolest thing ever. But yeah. So anyway, on the 5 minute, the red is in right now. So you're seeing the first red component, right? We're seeing the first red component in this one. We still need to see, obviously, the green component. Whoops. I don't know why I did that. We need to see the green component of it, right? So that's kind of what we're looking for, right? As soon as we see this, and you can do it on the 5 minute if you want, pull the trigger, and it should push all the way back down again. On the 30-minute chart, it should push back down into that level right there is where your target is going to be on the downside. Okay. Like I said, that one's kind of crappy. I'm like, change it orange just to because I don't like it as much. Right there we go. Oh, you can't even see this now, but you guys know what it looks like. I don't have to. You guys know what that looks like. All right. Let's go back to the 30-minute dollar Swiss. All right. We can delete Bollinger Bands now. You guys understand what's going on with the Bollinger Bands. There we go. So I mean, there was a trade from yesterday morning, right? Early. We talked about it pulling back down, and it pulled back down again. And guess what? Right before news, we were sitting down in that level again. So I mean, had you taken this a second time, you guys can see that again, the zone has worked out twice. And again, that was the first touch. It wasn't bad. I mean, it hit it again. Where I'd really have to, say that this one kind of was like, yep, it is probably a decent trade. Is again from here, the green, red, green, right there. Oh, I wanted to be able to see through it, but I just wanted to delete. There you go. That zone right there. Right. Can I put that behind? Is that an option? I see. I was like, I want it dark, but I don't want it dark enough where I can't see the candles. But anyway, there's your green, red, green pattern on the 30. Coming in the news, you're like, yeah. And again, we were talking about coming dollar strength out of this one anyway. So, nice move. Again, it would have entered a little bit early. You could say it was a 530 reversal, but it didn't really reverse. It kind of maintained on that level. So there's been two trades out of there right now. We're waiting for this one to come up to 92.78, and we're still waiting for that one. Again, if you want to run fib, some low to high because that's kind of where we're at right now. I'd say just drag it all the way up. You can see it's kind of protected there. It's a zone right before the 50. Now we have hit it 2-3 times at this point, but I think the next time coming through, we may get the drop through, but we're gonna have to break through the 50. So there will be a Harry Potter short coming out of this dollar Swiss when we get back down there eventually. So again, obviously two trades at this point have been one and then two. All right. Let's pull this. Just clean this up for next time. Dollar yen. So dollar yen. We're at basically the same spot we are yesterday. It's a little bit higher, right? Again, we had a nice little pop out of there as we should. We're still waiting for 135. We're at 134.33. Where we are right now, and again, this is truly the top. It's funny. It didn't pull back. It went to, it needed just a little bit more. So unfortunately, people couldn't get in this trend continuation. Where are we at in 24 hours? 23. 23 pips. Right. So nothing substantial. It looks like it's running into some sellers right now. Um, yes, Leah. Okay, sorry. I'm getting like direction list down. I'm like, what? Why are you sending this to me? Okay. So again, reversal on this one. I like the dollar Swiss reversal and the dollar CAD reversal better than the dollar yen. But again, do see this one turning and rolling. As far as cryptos go, you can see, obviously Bitcoin up near that 25 mark. We're up close to the 1700 mark. Everything's rolling, and yet TLT is going lower. I think people are getting nervous again. We're seeing this one really kind of tear back down. Look at this. Look at this kind of coming from the 109s all the way back down to the 102s. It's a pretty substantial movement over the last 2 weeks inside of TLT. And again, I think it's people are finally recognizing that, right? Finally recognizing that they are going to continue to raise interest rates, right? Um, wait, what? Okay, sorry. All right. So nothing much there. Let's go over to oil. So oil, again, lots of chop back and forth. We talked about the short yesterday. Again, the new short, and that was worked out just fine. You can see it came back down and it tagged at 77, right? And again, that's where it formed the bottom back around 10:30 time frame. So again, news is fine. This zone is basically done at this point. You can say one, two. There's three right here, plus the original base on this one. So we'll mark it off, and we're gonna leave this one here and we're going to use it. There's going to be a short out of there. This top section again, there was the new setup from yesterday. Inventory. I think we're still waiting for 8038. Looks like this one's having buyers establish itself. Or I'm sorry, sellers establish itself. I'm going to move this one down just a little bit. See if we can get this in here. No, it's close. It's close. It is close. hmm. It's all right. You can see sellers forming up top. It's in an area where we've seen sellers in the past. It did break through the top a little higher. I like shorts up at 80 38 better. And again, if we come up and start basing there is a potential long from that because we know we have a racetrack above that one. I just feel like we're gonna have a hard time getting out of this range. So again, playing more the inside of the channel makes more sense. Obviously, this is kind of where the channel is. I like the target down here. Again, 77.54 is where we found buyers, and they did pierce a little bit lower, and that's where the buyers had come in last time. Kind of right there. It's a little bit deep in the zone, but I think if we can start breaking through, it starts pushing back. Ah, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's not the worst trade setup. Um, I do think it probably pushes back down a little bit, but it's all right. It's all right. Natural gas. What we got? Yeah, it's pulling back. Natural gas again driving back down a little bit. Yesterday morning. All right, actually that's Tuesday. Yesterday we saw this big push down. Um, Again, we're kind of bracketed in either side. Whoops. Right. Um, that's kind of where we're at, and we're kind of sitting right in the middle of that range. So I don't know if this zone can hold. This went lower, but we got this whole bit of junk down here too. So I guess there's a small little. I guess we do have a small confirmation off of that. Um, minus 79. Rallying back up again. Hmm. Definitely no stabilization. Hmm. Sorry, it's starting to move already. This one, the problem with this one is again, the strategy is typically what happens is you'll see it like basically flatline, right? It just won't move, right? It just nothing happens. Um, oops, that was probably I hit a button and lost the menu. Um, you can see it's already starting to take off a little bit ahead of time, and again, this may be that pre-movement. We're not getting the stabilization we typically like to see it. You have a couple, a couple candles where it basically doesn't move at all. Natural gas doesn't do it as much. It doesn't trade it as much. There's not as many big bodies in natural gas as there is oil. Um, so again, it's not as great of a strategy for natural gas because it just doesn't have the big players. It's not the same. Um, right now you can see it in the overnight high to low. This last big push where the 50 is. I mean, it's in the right area. Um, you could probably shrink the risk a little bit on this if you want, but that's really. I mean, I'm on a 1 minute now, so we're kind of getting ridiculous with the. You know, that's probably more where you would need to market to be safe. Right. So, but you can see it's already pushing down. Gold. So gold pulling back up a little bit, and we're seeing profit taking, so that makes sense, right? We're seeing profit taking, and again, you can see the 830 drove it right back down again, and now the profit taking is coming in. So we're kind of holding firm down here. I would expect gold to probably come back up into the 1840 and probably hold there. Like you said, I mean, we know that inflation is continuing to rise. We know that they're dedicated to making sure that inflation stops rising, but it's not, where we are right now, the news for the day is out. It's done. There's nothing more. I would expect it to kind of push back up again and probably equalize itself around the 1840 to 1848 zone. You can see really this one is being so news based, right? Right. Here's your kind of overnight down, and then just nothing, and then boom, another move, and that'll push right back up. So, gold right now. There's no catalyst is done. There's no nothing coming. And again, silver's the same thing. You can see we missed this one by just a little bit last night. It's like wah, wah, wah. Nice push down. You can see 830 drove right back down, and all it did was push right into buyers, and then profit taking, and we're retracing back to where we were right when news happened. So not really anything that I looking at this one, it's like nothing that that I'm like, yep, great, take it. Um, yeah, I still like the level of 2185. I'm sorry, 2182. I just hate when this happens. You miss it by 2 pennies. You're like, oh man, 2 pennies, and then it drops 40. You're like, oh, right, painful. All right, let's go to the indices. Indices are all in the red. You can see they are starting to kick back again. Let's drop this down to 15 minute. Again, as far as opening print goes, 915 was red. You're seeing 930 in the green, as we'd expect. And again, going in today, I would expect more of a long at the open. Here's a level that we talked about yesterday, right? This was yesterday's entry. From where we were in the overnight, the only level we had actually was that one. The test came from yesterday's open. So, I mean, it's not a new level. It's the same level we talked about yesterday. You may say, well, why the heck would you, go long this one? Well, I would go long because for the same reason why you're asking me, why would I go long, right? Super negative, and yes, could we still be red on the day and rally? Sure, sure. But everybody saw what this did. 830 drove us down, 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 down. So every retail trader in the world is trying to short the market today. When everybody's trying to short, the price goes up. So yeah, that's why it's called the opening print. And again, if we look back from where price was, where's our next tested level? The tested level came in yesterday at the open. So yeah, I mean, yesterday paid off. Today also paid off. You can see that we are again. It is above. It is officially out. So your 1 to 3 is done on ES. NQ. Now NQ had pushed through a level. So again, once we came down to the 9 o'clock was here. Here's your 915. We were already down. We don't really have a level, and again, it's kind of a rough level. I mean, it doesn't really matter where I take it from. If I take it from there, right, it's not a tested level, but it was a level. So I mean, knowing that it was there, could you have taken that at 930? Sure, sure you could have. It looked very the same. I mean, like I said, I like the ES better than the NQ. But as far as being able to call bottoms, I mean, there's your rally, there's your base, there's your push up. It came back down and then launched itself off. Is that a good trade? Yeah. On a 5-minute, um, I mean, there's your zone, right? There's your zone. There's your little Harry Potter move, right? Up, base, pull back, boom. So technically on the 5-minute, there's your confirmation trade. On the 15, it's a little bit harder to see. Right, a little bit harder to see, but based off those candles, you're like, yep, when it came up here, it opened here and came down, it tested. And there's trade. So I love when people are like, well, how do you know that was the bottom? I knew this wasn't going to be the bottom because it already sliced through, right? This is the one you took a loss on yesterday. Had you tried to play with the chop back and forth, you probably took a small loss on that one. But yeah, this one, I mean, here you guys can see it's well beyond. I mean, you're way up there. Tiny risk, right? Tiny risk, and your one. I mean, your 1 to 3 is only right there, right? Right now, it's at 1 to 7, almost 1 to 8, right? 7.8. So yeah, easy. So there's 2. Let's see. Now this guy, well, problem with this one is 8, 9:15, 9:30 was here. So yeah, so this was pretty deep in the zone. Now the other one had 1 touch. This one had a 1, 2, and 3. So we would have expected this one to break, and it did. It went lower. And what it did is here's your next. If you go down, where's the next test? It looks like right in here, but there's the zone. So like there's kind of your test on it. You could say, well, why didn't I use this one right here? It's just too small, right? It's just too tiny, so you got to use one that's actually a decent level. And this one is kind of a dual one, right? It's a 786, which I don't love, but here is your next confirmed level based off of where it was below this break. And if I take that across, again, we knew that one was done because of the 3 touches. There's your reversal point. I don't know if this one's out. It should be, maybe. No, not out yet. It was pretty close, and then pulled back. Buds, what are you doing? Yeah, he's getting in more trouble. And Russell. Russell, no entry. All right, so this was the one from yesterday, and look at that. We just missed that little guy down there. Yeah. Again, looking down, is there a confirmed level? No. You don't have anything until way down here. So yeah, Russell would not have had an entry today. So 2 easy ones. One that again, sitting about 2/3 of the way through. I mean, ideally, it's that's easy. That was easy. This one, a little bit more challenging to draw, but again, still technically positive. And then again, nothing on Russell. So, all right, let's see if natural gas is doing anything. I'm really curious to see. It's going. It's going. A little bit of a gap there too. Curious to see how this one comes in. We got like 1 minute on it. It was a monstrous minus 217 last time. Right. It was big. It's a shame. It was a nice little short there. Come on, it's only 30 seconds. Don't forget, go ahead and get into your drawing. Right. We'll find out here in 30 seconds who's gonna, what this one looks like. There's your short. Yeah, it's unfortunate that this one didn't get up. It was very, very close. But yeah, it was the same trade as yesterday, basically. Yeah, look at that, man. By a smidge. God, by 0.3 of a penny. It is a little bit worse than expected, but nothing too crazy, right? Nothing. It wasn't a 217, right? Nothing super crazy. You may say, wait a second, that should be good. People see it as a green number, but it's kind of as expected, right? When it's so close to expectation, people see it like, oh, you got to buy it. Really? Do you got to buy it? Right? When you say buy it, that's why the price goes down, right? So Again, pretty easy setup. It's unfortunate that one missed by just such a little tiny bit, but it looked like the same trade as yesterday. And again, we see from the 10 o'clock, the half hour beforehand to news, it went straight up. There was a level there. We just missed the level by a little bit, and that's what led it to the nice push to the downside. Overall, it may end up over here later on today, right? But as far as news goes, it drove right up the half hour before news. It didn't really stabilize. That's what we were looking for, but it pushed up into a zone or got really, really close to that zone. It's unfortunate because there are people that would have just missed this one. Yeah, and again, instant short. All right, let's go ahead and do the drawing. And look. -2, -9, 3, 13, 40, -1, 4, and 8. 8 in the pound yen. Or, I'm sorry, yeah, the pound yen. 8! Ugh. Daily ATR of 186. I don't know if you guys can see it up there. 186 is the daily ATR on the pound yen. And in the last 24 hours, -8. Right? Ugly. Right? If we can just get the dollar Swiss. Come on, dollar Swiss. Turn negative just a little bit more. Get us down there too. Look, in the last 15 minutes. Red, red. If these go too much red, everything will be in everything could be in single digits. So it happens, but there's been plenty of small setups. Like I said. The Aussie overnight, that 40, pip would have been a great entry. Love this. Good. I'm glad that it peeked through. That's awesome. That makes us even better. So it's good to go. All right, let's do the drawing. Butts, what are you doing? No. Mama's gonna be mad. Yeah, Mama's gonna be mad. You made a big mess. I can see it already. Ugh. Thank God that's not Mama's expensive stuff. Debbie, you'll like this. Melissa, female, obviously has lotion, right? He has a lotion container. I can see the trail of lotion that he is. He's like, oh, I can squirt this by pushing the top down. I can see the trail from my bedroom. No. All the way to the other room. So I'll take a picture and be like, look, this is a boy. All right, let's see who the winner of today's drawing is. Will we have a repeat? Maybe, maybe not. Winner of today's drawing is... Nope. Wait a second. It's Thursday. What is this? It's Thursday. It's Ecky's second one this week. Ecky, are you diversifying? Are you are you diversifying out? You're going to start taking victories in the middle of the week now too? Look at that. You used to be bookend. It was literally Monday, Friday. This is a Thursday. I'm telling you, I think there's some diversification going here. It's like, you know what? I'm just not going to take victories on the weekends. I'm going to take it whenever I feel like. So, yeah. Yeah. So, Ellie Edgar for Australia. Does that do anything? And then low speaking later today. Yeah, buddy. I agree too. So, hold on. I wanted to see if is that doing anything. Yeah, it's little playback and it's reversing now for the Australian data. So, all right. So with that said, I will catch you guys tomorrow morning. Like I said, tomorrow is going to be rather slow. We should get some trendy stuff. Again, we'll see how the Europeans play. Remember, it is a holiday on Monday. So again, that will affect the volume. It is a bank holiday on Monday. So we will not be around for, I guess, what is it? President's Day? Is it President's Day Monday? Is that what it is? Yeah. Yeah, it's President's Day. So obviously bank holiday. I know that because Melissa's like, I don't have to work on Monday. And I know the boys are off from school. So we won't be back on Monday. So we'll be back on Tuesday next week. Don't forget. But again, we will have lower volume tomorrow. People trying to, sneak out a little bit early for the long weekend. So just keep that in mind too. And again, there's no news. So don't expect the excitement. There we go. Look. We got to this. Look, single digit, double, single, 0, 0, -3, -3, -3. Right? We're going to nothing. So, all right, with that, I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. Have a great trading day. If you need me, shoot me a message on Discord. If not, I will catch you guys tomorrow. Take care, and I'll see you then.